And look, your hand on your face.
What about them deep sighs?
My goodness. The sighs, the eyes, the head going around, this right here. All of that. Those are nonverbal cues that can really put a dent between your communication. You got to be mindful of your...
Yo, let me tell you about this, my fruit. Dude, let me tell you.
I'm so uncomfortable right now. Welcome to today's episode of Relationship Talk with the Guest. We've talked to hundreds of couples about what their top relationship issues are. And the winner, by a landslide, is communication. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like, I bet that wasn't a surprise to you at all. Like, it's not just the top issue in romantic relationships. It's the top issue in all relationships across the board. As transformational relationship coaches, like, we want to help as many people as possible improve their communication skills. That's a foundational principle of building healthy relationships. So before we dive in, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button now so that you'll get an alert when we drop new content. Like, you don't want to miss out. Did you do it? Okay, awesome, wonderful. So like I was saying before, improving communication skills is important in both personal and professional relationships. So here are 10 strategies that we can use, that we always use with our coaching clients to help them enhance their communication abilities. And number one, I'm gonna tell you the truth. We don't just use this with our clients. Like, this is probably the number one tool that we use in our relationship.
Yes.
And it has helped us, tremendously.
Yes, we practice what we preach with this one.
Yeah. Active listening. So you focus on active listening, to listening to the person speaking. You give them your full attention. You avoid interrupting or thinking about what your response is going to be while they're talking. You show that you're engaged through verbal cues like nodding and maintaining eye contact. Like, this is so important. So with us, what we learned is that since this is a bigger issue for you, do you want to talk about hearing things that are not there and how this is helpful?
Yes, that it is very good to get clarity, because I am a big hearer of things that are not there. I know that is one of the things, and I don't know if it's because I'm looking. She says I like to fuss.
Loves it. He fussy. He want to fuss for sport.
I look for the confrontation. I don't know it's because of my competitiveness. I don't know it's because of what I was raised around, but I do. For some reason, I hear something that ain't there. We could be talking, and
it's the truth.
And she'll say, "You know what? That's your mama said something like that. Did you say something about my mama? How dare you say something about my mama?"
Just like that.
And it's like, I didn't. That's not what I said
at all.
I really quoted what your mama actually said. And I'm like, well, she did say that. But I think you were trying to throw a jab.
Did you say I was dumb, ignorant, and wasn't never going to be nothing? No, I didn't. I said you might want to study for that test you about to take.
Yes.
And so, like, with a lot of people, sometimes, people can be passive aggressive, and there are, different intents behind the words that people speak. Yeah. But for me, I say what I mean and mean what I say. And so if I had meant to say the harshness that you heard,
she would say it.
I would have literally said that. If I had wanted to say something terrible about your mama, which I never would, God rest her soul. If that's what I wanted to do, that's what I would have done, be it right or wrong. Yeah. So hearing things that are not there, active listening can help with that, because this is how you do that. So if I say something to him, then he'll turn and say, okay, this is what I heard you say.
Yep.
Is that what you said? No, that's not at all what I said. Let me rephrase it so that maybe you'll understand and really hear and understand what it is I'm saying. So I'll rephrase it, and then he'll say, okay, is this what you said?
Right.
I'll say, yes, that's what I said.
Yes.
And he might even need to follow up with, okay, I feel like when you said that, what you really meant was this.
Right.
Was that your intent? So that I can say no, because it never is. No,
it never is.
That's not what I meant.
Sometimes she intends on being mean. She just don't want to own it. You were trying to be mean, won't you? No, I wasn't. Yes,
No,
you were.
if I was trying to be mean, what do I say?
Yes, I was trying to be mean.
I meant to be mean. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, she'll apologize.
But yes, when we first, got together, this was a real struggle for us because I didn't understand why he was hearing all of these things that I was not saying or meaning. Like, that's not what I said or meant. Uh-huh. And so he would get mad and then, pout about it. And I'm like, are you upset?
Powder. I'm a powder.
If you ain't the biggest pouting giant I have ever seen in my life, y'all, my husband is 6'9", 440, 55, 70 pounds, and he is a powder. Because he was raised by his grandma, and she let him get his way, and he came over here with me trying to get his way. Not for real, but
he did let me get
yeah, he used to get mad, and I didn't even know he was mad.
Saunders.
Like I might come through like a Smurf.
No, that ain't that.
And then he'd be mad, and I'd be like,
"You still mad?"
I didn't know. I never knew he was mad because I didn't know I had done anything that would have made him mad. But he was mad because what he heard when I said something was something totally different.
Didn't hear what she said. Yep.
And I was like, "Oh, you thought I said that? That's not what I said." And so, yes. So active listening has been an integral part of our communication improving over time. So I definitely recommend active listening. Listen.
Getting clarity.
Get clarity, get clarity, rephrase.
And also, when you're saying stuff, I always have this famous saying, is it better that what you say be said or received? That's what active listening does. It makes sure that what you're saying is received.
The way you intended.
Correct.
Right. Okay. So another piece, clarification when you're paraphrasing. This is what we're talking about. So when you're unsure about something, make sure you ask clarifying questions to ensure that you understood the speaker's message. So if your partner is over here saying something, you can't just assume it. And even outside of the active listening, stop and ask a clarifying question. Wait a minute.
Right.
Paraphrase their words or summarize what they've said to confirm your understanding. This demonstrates that you're actively processing the information, right. Okay? Yeah, so you really have to ask those questions.
Did you understand what I meant?
Did you understand? Mm-hmm. Look, I heard this. Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Or, this is triggering something for me. Can we clarify this right here? And try to do this as calmly as possible.
Right. Don't elevate your point. Like, what'd you say? That don't.
Did you see the look on his face? That what you say? That's gonna lead us into our next point right there. Non-verbal communication, baby. Non-verbal. Pay attention to your body language and non-verbal cues. Maintain an open posture. That's facing each other when you're talking. Because if you're talking like this. That's my students. We're high school. Yeah, we're high school teachers. And if I ask to speak to a student in the hallway, like if they've been showing out in class, what they don't want to do in the hallway is have open posture with you. They want to go like this and turn their back to you and turn their head so that they don't have to face you eye to eye. So when you're communicating, it's important to show that respect and face each other. Keep that open posture. Use appropriate facial expressions. Sometimes we are not even aware of the facial expressions that we have. And that's me. I have to be honest here because he'll stop when he's talking and he'll say, "What?" And I'll be like, "Nothing." And he'd be like, "Why are you looking at me like that?"
Looking like that.
I'll be like what? Like I'm listening. And he'd be like, "You looking like you about through, like you just tired of me talking." And I'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm getting a lot of shots thrown my way. It feels this way. I don't know. Maybe it's me. It feels like we talking.
Do that be you that be saying that?
It feels like we talking mainly about me and my communication.
I was talking about the way I need to work on my facial expressions because they communicate something to you that's not there.
Yeah, but you always got me looking like the dramatic one. That's all I'm saying.
I have you looking.
Like the dramatic
active listening. Let's practice
right now.
So what I hear you saying is that I'm portraying you inaccurately as the dramatic one.
Why you got to throw it accurately?
Because that's what I want to make sure that's what your intent is.
Man, I don't think it's the full story. I'm dramatic sometimes. I'll own that. I'll own sometimes.
So your statement is that I have you looking dramatic.
Yes.
When you are not, or when you are?
I am.
And this when you drop the mic because you have just actively heard what you heard. So facial expressions, your face can say a lot, and you gotta watch your eyes,
right? Because
the rolling of the eyes is a real thing. That means that you're not really interested, or that you don't like what they said, and that you're not really open to take in more. And look, your hand on your face. Sick of it. I'm sick of it. How they spell it? SICCUD. Sick of it. So.
What about them deep sighs?
My goodness. The sighs, the eyes, the head going around, this right here. All of that. Those are nonverbal cues that can really put a dent between your communication. So you also have to be mindful. You really think you're going to be picked on. You got to be mindful of your tone of voice. Ouch.
You came with hate.
You got to be mindful of your tone of voice.
How are we going to put Ed Geth on blast today?
Do you want to talk about your tone of voice?
No, I'm going to let you do it.
So,
I'm going to let you do it.
This is also an area where we had to grow as a couple when it came to, I would say our tone of voice, when it came to Ed's tone of voice. Because I was raised in a household where it was important to keep an even tone when you're communicating. Right. And
which is true.
You're definitely not just quiet or shut off, because you do get it out, but you just get it out in a calm tone and respectfully, and you say exactly what it is that you want to say as truthful as possible.
I saw this myself. Like none of y'all yell at each other.
We don't yell. It's not a thing.
They do not.
These guys yell for everything. They yell when they're upset. They yell when they're happy.
Yo, we tell a story.
When they
let me tell you about this, my fruit. Dude, let me tell you.
I'm so uncomfortable right now. They do. They clap at each other and they yell on the phone.
We touch and
like
grab
when
each other.
He gets on the like he's doing it now. And so just imagine that personality turn, I'm upset with you. Yeah. And then he thought that in our conversations that he would, elevate his voice. And so we had to talk about that, and I had to let him know how that made me feel and how it was not okay continuing communication with him.
Shuts it down.
What is my first question to you if your voice goes up?
Who are you talking to?
I ask him that in a calm way. I would like say, who are you talking to? And then he says, I'm talking to you. And my response is always, if you're talking to me, then you don't have to talk so loud, because I'm sitting right in front of you.
Sitting right here. You have to elevate like that.
Because you're speaking like you're talking to the chickens that are across the street. At our neighbors. They have pet chickens and roosters. They get on my last nerves. If y'all are watching, sweet little neighbors, y'all's roosters get on my nerves. Anyway, so yeah, tone of voice is a real thing, because I consider it disrespectful if your tone goes up. He feels like if your tone never elevates, then you are not being, you're not passionate about what you're talking about.
Right.
And so, we really had to find a happy medium within our relationship with a tone of voice that worked for both of us. Mm-hmm. So he's doing much better.
Yes, I've learned. And we get a lot more done. Like that tone definitely wasn't accomplishing anything. Because if I kept the same tone, even if I said, I'm talking to you, and now you just be like, you know what? And check herself out of the conversation. And
because
by myself.
What if I also elevated? What if I was like, oh, you ain't talking to me? Now we yelling at each other. It's like we're not accomplishing anything.
We'd have forgot what we started out trying to accomplish.
Watch your tone of voice. It's super important. It is. So, the nonverbal signals can greatly influence how your message is received. I'm definitely not going to be able to receive you if you got your head doing all this and you doing this and you yelling at me. Then I would like to invite you to no longer speak to me. So
we can get on some Maya stuff. Can we get on some Maya stuff?
I mean, I'm a pretty good communicator.
You are.
And you are getting there, babe.
Thank you. Okay, I think this is the next one.
Oh, yeah. So where we're going next, then it's time to get on the Maya party. We're here now. We have arrived.
Okay.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Please, don't leave it out.
Empathy. And understanding. So practice empathy by trying to understand the other person's perspective and emotions. Put yourself in their shoes and consider their background, experiences, and feelings. Like, this can help you respond in a more compassionate, like, it's hard to even come out, in a more compassionate and considerate manner.
Ooh, listen, I don't know if I can even say this, but it's hilarious. But you and my brother, y'all, remember y'all came up with the university? Remember the university? Y'all said y'all would come up F your feelings university?
I mean, I told you I was trying to stop cussing.
Right.
That's not a secret. I'm in the process of
y'all feel that in. That's the energy
about
she
people's
used to
feelings.
bring.
So empathy is a struggle for me. It's a struggle. I have a hard time trying to connect with the way others feel. That is something that I am always working on. And he has helped me with that because he will stop me and say, look, you're not understanding how I feel. And I'm just like,
I don't care how you feel.
I don't. That's what you hear. I don't say it.
You don't say it.
But that is there. I really don't be caring how this dude be feeling about some of the stuff we talk about.
Right. Yeah.
But I need to. Right. So I'm telling you, don't be like me, be better. Because I'm on this journey with you. Like, I really need to be better. Showing empathy and being considerate in a way that...
Because then it'll shape how you communicate. It really does. Because you're like, you know what?
How would he feel if I said that? Yeah, because some of the stuff, like, I'm so literal, blunt, truthful, that it's difficult for me to sometimes, sprinkle what he calls sugar on my words so that he's able to receive them. And so that is one area where I'm getting better. I try to think. And he'll say, what's taking you so long? And I was like, I'm thinking. That's a better way to say this.
It takes some time.
He was like, it take all that? Yes. Because the first 3 ways that I thought to say it,
I had to shut it down.
I had to shut them down because they would be slicing you.
Think about that. It took her 3
so
options in her mind.
Sometimes he'll ask me a question and I just pause and I look at him. And it frustrates him so bad because he wants an immediate response. But my immediate responses are bad. Like... I mean, they're truthful and they're real, but I got to figure out how to say this so that he is not going to want to, get loud after this. So that's the process, and it's worth it. Don't you think it's worth it to put this work in?
It is.
For me to communicate better with you?
Much better. Because usually once you take the time, you really do say the right thing, and it motivates me to be like, okay, that is.
Just recently, it took overnight for me. I said... we're going to have to table this because, like,
nothing's coming.
I can't think of a nice way to say this. And so the next day I said, I got it.
Yep.
And I came back and I said it. And he was like, thank you so much. Like, that was very helpful. Yep. I understand fully what you're saying now. And I was like, perfect.
Yep. And now we're working toward a solution and understanding.
Right, because what's the goal? The goal is that I say what it is that I need to say and that he understands what I mean when I say it.
Right.
So whatever lengths you have to go through so that happens is necessary.
Yep.
Okay? So next hint or next tool, use I statements So when you're expressing your thoughts or feelings, use I statements instead of you statements. So for example, say, I feel da-da-da, rather than you always da-da-da. You see what I'm saying? So this approach takes responsibility, for your own emotions, and it reduces the defensiveness in the other person. So let's talk about a very specific thing in our marriage. I don't think you'll mind me talking about, you come in. We've talked previously about Ed being a basketball coach, and he might get out of practice at 5:30. And
supposed to end at 5:30.
Yeah, our school is about 30 minutes away. Yeah. So I'm like, so if he ends at 5:30, like he's supposed to, and let's say he takes 30 minutes to lock up, 30 minutes to get home, he really should be home by about 6:30. And so I
should put that clock on.
So because I have the kids and I'm cooking, so that I'm trying to be one of those little wives that when my husband comes home, he got a hot meal ready, and the kids are together. And so I'm looking at the clock. What time do I need to start this? What time do the biscuits need to go in? Like, I'm cooking. I'm not trying to do bologna sandwiches. I'm trying to cook food. And so because that's one of his love languages. He loves to smell food when he hits the door. So I feel like
that man's home happy.
Yeah. So I feel like, he should be home at about 6:30. So when 6:30 comes and I haven't heard from him, and 7 comes, I haven't heard from him, it's 7:30. And then when he finally calls me or finally answers and he says, oh yeah, I got caught up, a couple guys went to get a couple extra shots up. And I'm like, but you could have texted me that. And then I wouldn't have been rushing trying to get this in the oven. I could have waited. So the way I communicate with it, I statements, instead of me saying, you always do this.
You don't never think about it.
You are so inconsiderate. You always doing this. You don't ever. You don't ever.
You run your mouth too much.
Right. Instead of me.
You gotta talk to everybody.
Well, you sound like you never heard that before. They heard it before. Because that's the way it used to be.
Yes.
You always doing this. You know what? I ain't cooking no more. Just forget it.
Yeah, that's not the result.
Cause I'm trying to do this stuff really for you, and you ain't considerate enough to pick up the phone to text me. I'm gonna be an hour and a half late. You know what I'm saying? So a better way that we have learned to approach this would be, I'm always so excited when it's time for you to come home. Yep. Me and the kids look forward to hearing your truck come up, and I prepared this food for you because I know it's important to you, and I love to show my love this way. Like, I feel so sad and disappointed when you're supposed to be here, and then it's another hour and a half before we get to see you.
Yep. And then you used no good one. One time he's like, Bree was asking about you, and she really wanted to see her daddy.
So I told him what my daughter felt.
All right, fellas, y'all got to go.
So instead of attacking him with you do this and you do that, I took ownership for the way I felt, and then shared my emotions with him. So it wasn't defensive. He was just like, that's my bad. Yep. And so it started to get better after that. I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect, right? Because it's not. Right. But it is definitely better, and that's what we're going for.
I always try to think, let me this is going on. Let me call, let me check in, let me tell her what's going on. Let me see how late. Let her know, hey, practice ran over. Now,
and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it does. She does.
I do.
And you didn't give me a hard time. You didn't. When I text, it's always like, okay.
Thank you for letting me know. Yep. And then I can go on. That's all I need right there.
Yep.
So, you got anything else you want to add about that?
No, I think, you covered that well. I think that was a great example.
Okay. So next we're going to do, we have 10, but we don't want to overload you. Yeah, so let's just stop it right there for the first part so that you can really think about it, because that's a lot to take in.
Yes.
Those first 5, the first 5 strategies, that's a lot.
Right.
So if you know that you could benefit from using these strategies and you need a more in-depth work implementing them, then you would greatly greatly benefit from the communication course that we offer.
Yep.
Hear Me Out, Head, Ears, and Respect. So it's a 6-week program
done
filled
the
with
work.
fun and energetic weekly video
Did the
guidance
work.
that will walk you through activating your heart, head, and hands as you learn to improve your communication skills. It comes with a downloadable workbook, which includes key quotes and notes that follow along with the videos, journal prompts, and workspace. There's an assessment, and the name of it's What's Your Communication Style, so it helps with that. And it'll identify ways that you best give and receive information. There's a list of supportive affirmations that will help you begin each day with positivity, a guide to overcoming common marital challenges, an active listening action plan. You know that's important. And you'll also get access to our Facebook encouragement group. So we always want to over-deliver, and our ultimate goal is transformation. So for more information about Hear Me Out, our coaching services, marriage tools, or anything that we have going on, go on over to onevisionerc.com. That website again is onevisionerc.com. Thank you so much for getting in with us, and we hope you have a great day. And make sure you tune in for part 2. We're going to give you the next 5 in part 2.